It's just 10 o'clock. Folks are starting to hop in. Thank you all for being here this morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday. Let's begin by breathing. So as people hop in, just taking a moment to get centered, to find our center point. So let your breath be easy. Let it be natural and relaxed, and just feel it. Feel the air enter into your nostrils, and imagine you're just tracing the breath in through the body, down the back of the throat, down into the bottom of the lungs. And feel your chest, your rib cage expand as you breathe in, and then feel it fall as you breathe out. Easy breath. A couple more times here, just getting centered and coming home, breathing in. Feel your body breathe. Feel the journey of the air into your body. Maybe you want to deepen the breath a little bit if you can. And then easy exhale. One more time, breathing in. And just feel the miracle of that breath, of all the processes that are happening just by you simply taking a breath and coming into your body, coming home. And see if while we're gathered together today, we can take in energy and information, and also just stay connected, stay present, stay in our bodies. One of the things that I want to share that came through for us this week, Spirit was teasing me a little bit. I was kind of looking for the signs of progress, and Spirit reminded me, and I've said this before, but it's really worth taking to home. There's always going to be light and dark. They hold each other in balance. So as one expands, the other expands. That's a law of the universe. It's a law of the balance of light and dark. So I mentioned this at the first week that, that points us to the chaos points us to the potential for transformation, but it's more than that. That kind of leaves us thinking that we'll be in this Shangri-La land where everything's going to be like heaven on earth, universally. And I do believe that we will see very, very much heaven on earth, but right now for the next 12 to 15 years, it's not going to be universal. There's going to be as much light as we're going to be able to bring through, as much positive change and transformation that we're going to be able to usher into ourselves and to seed into the planet and to create. There also will be that amount of dark. That's how things are held in balance. So it's interesting to note that they said there may be a time where the dark gets relocated off of our planet. That's not for me to know. That's going to be, again, like over 10 years away. So for this next little bit, for the next 12 years at least, we will see all this positive change, but it's kind of a shift away from duality, away from this idea where light's going to conquer dark. Well, what if that's what's needed? What if black holes needed to make a supernova? What if that's just the way that energy flows? And so we can kind of take to heart that we don't need to fear, we don't need to resist. There's nothing to fight or fear or be ridded of. There are things that we want to release from ourselves, but because every single being has sovereignty and free will. It's a little bit too big of a job for us to consider ourselves to be tasked with ridding the planet of dark energy. What we get to be tasked with is lightening our own selves so that we can be the vessels of light, which is why our souls have incarnated in this lifetime, and which is why this time is really so exciting. But I hope that that's helpful to help us be at peace with the things that are around us. And there's so much to practice right now. I'll get to that in a second. I want to talk about the second thing that came through, and that is about the law of karma. So time and karma have an interesting relationship. We humans on Earth have a buffer. Spirit kind of gives us a buffer where if we think one thing, it doesn't hardly ever manifest right that second. We kind of get this buffer of like, do you really want to think that way? Let's see if we can steer this ship in a different direction. So we've had this sort of buffer between the energy that we hold, whether it's by an action or by what we're thinking or what we're believing or what we're speaking, and then what comes into reality. But that time frame is shortening. It can feel in some sense like time is speeding up. It's not instantaneous just yet. They've shown us that we're not ready for that yet. But there is a shorter time to manifestation. There's a shorter time to karma. And while we can do a really good job at keeping our eyes on what we want to see, we still live in this world. So when you find those messages that might not make you feel good, notice how that feels. Notice that, some of the messages that are in the media you can feel the energy in yourself drop, right? And I mentioned before, that's kind of, that's a sign of fear. That's a sign of not truth. We're meant to be expansive. We're meant to be loving beings. But one of the ways Spirit showed me to handle the fear of everything being tracked and controlled and whatever stories are out there is karma. We workers of the light are standing in the light. So, it's pretty easy to go to sleep at night. And we don't have anything to fear. And, Spirit kind of played with me when I forget who said what, but I was like, really, they're going to track everything we do? And they were like, don't you think that'd be a good example if somebody followed you around with a video camera? I'm not asking for that. But what I'm saying is think about that. Think about how it's going to be okay. Because when we hold ourselves, when we know that our only job is us, then all the other stuff is just gonna ride right through. It's not going to be anything that actually impacts or limits us, because we're going to be standing in the light. And if anything, it's whatever is happening, it's going to be help us to be able to lead by example and to share light with more people. And so as these messages filter in every once in a while, just remember that while we stand in light, and karma is something that is very much on the side of light, where we know there's nothing to fear, that's enough of a job in itself, but then that makes everything else fall away. And they even said, 95% of anything that you might see in the news, it's just not going to happen. That's we know that there's really nothing to fear, but we don't need to resist it. Because every once in a while I find myself resisting the media, like, don't look at the newspaper that's in the front yard, even the title, don't look. And but there's a little bit of a discipline there, but there's also the resistance. And I think Spirit really wants us to be at ease with everything that's happening, and know that we don't have to build a wall around the media or any of the chaos. That we get to know that we can exist anywhere, and we can be in balance, and we can be of the light. And that is truly our calling right now, is to be that that good with ourselves. And it doesn't have to be that we're perfect, but really I think there's enough there to help us see that we don't need to resist it, and that karma really is on our side. And the other thing that I think that came through that was just so cute, that this rebirth is universal for everybody. So what does that mean? We're all in some sense looking for answers, looking for truth, looking for information. Maybe not, but there's little bits of time and understanding, and really that there is no clear answer, and that there are no mistakes either. That's when we let that needing to, the truth is out there, we got to go find it out there. If we're creating the answer, then there are no mistakes. And there's something really cute that I saw, the image that came through is that we've all been reborn, and we're all like these little babies learning to crawl. So as we peruse even the spiritual channels, I was listening to some of my favorite teachers that have taught me astrology. They were doing a channel, and it was so cool. And then all of a sudden I saw how we're all being reborn, and we can't help but be inside of our filter. We can't filter it right now because we're all just learning to crawl. So there is nobody besides ourselves that has the answers. And I was kind of interested when I was listening to this, being like, oh, I wonder what the Pleiadians have to say, And as I was listening, I thought, well, that's not wrong, but it's not right. And Spirit was very clearly saying, like, you don't need to go to anybody else for what is true. You know that you know what is true. And it was really calling me to task on, yeah, that's for all of us. Like, that's how universal this is. There is no need to give power or to go seek the truth outside of ourselves. We definitely get to explore, but the image for every one of us, nobody's better or more insightful at this juncture right now about anything. We really are all learning to crawl in these new bodies, in this new world, in this new field of information that's coming down. And so I hope that doesn't seem irreverent. I hope that it seems empowering and really a call to action, that there's no clear channel other than oneself. That's what's up. That's what's really needing to be plugged in for ourselves right now. That, I've talked about that feeling of yes, that feeling of truth, that feeling of expansion, that feeling of our heart welling, that feeling of, oh yeah, I feel like I might have known that in a past life, or thanks for reminding me, Spirit. Just so the inner truth, the inner work, and the inner trusting is the task. And the other thing that, every single soul has incarnated with a very unique situation this lifetime. Some people are very wealthy and very good looking, and they have this perfect life. And some people are very impoverished and their leg is broken and they have trouble speaking for some reason. I'm making this up, but I'm using two different examples to say both of those people have a soul's journey, and that soul's journey is being triggered right now. And there is no one that's better than the other. They're each unique, and they each hold a very specific purpose for that soul, for what they're working out in this lifetime. This is an important lifetime, potentially, and also for the collective. We've each signed up to, I've talked about, carry something potentially, so that as we resolve what it is that we're carrying, it's not just oh man, I did something bad in a past lifetime and I gotta get it off my back. It's like, no, it's a gift. I'm carrying it for the collective. And as I release, it's my act of service for the whole. So all of this is kind of pointing us to the law of oneness, that we really don't need to be looking for anybody else's opinion besides our own. That's so cool. I think it's so cool. And I think that, I don't think, maybe I think, I've been shown that this is a real-time practice that we're in right now. It's a practice in creativity, and we have an interesting task. I invite you to consider that one of the important things about this, however long it lasts, shelter at home, I think it's important to consider that we want to emerge lighter and brighter than we came into this. So that we're being guided in this time towards how to awaken for our highest existence. So that's an interesting personal challenge. And, for me, just to share, part of my challenge is to be still. Despite how excited I am about all the things that are going to be able to be done and all the things I want to do, Spirit's also invited me to say, hey, you got to spend an hour a day just chilling out, doing nothing, connecting with the breeze, connecting with the sun. And that's part of my personal knowing that's my gift for myself. And then so it's not necessarily that we have to sit at home and learn a new task. That is part of it. But I think we each know this way that we're being rebalanced, and that we really will know the opportunities that are coming, so that we can, it's almost like we went into this maze, this cave, this shelter in place, and we're going to come out the other side either totally the same, or with our feathers ruffled, or different. And I think that all of us here, we're gathering because we know that we're interested in things being lighter and brighter ourselves first and foremost. So then a question that can really, I think, open the doors for us is, how is this serving us? So there's no need to get away from energies of fear and of drama and of, all the people being affected, but really, how can all that's coming up be used to awaken our extraordinary gifts? How can this be like a honing in, like a laser point focus, instead of kind of just being open to everything? We're being invited to kind of harness our focus of how is this serving us? How is this time serving us? And one of the ways universally is, as a world, we've never been on the same page about anything, and we really are in the 3D being invited to be on the same page about a couple things. And that's great. That's oneness. And how is it serving each of us? Well, we each get to simultaneously feel the call for understanding how to navigate light and dark, and allowing things to be just as they are, and taking a look at how it already is all perfect. Those eyes, if we can really find those eyes right now, it's Gandhi-like, it's that inner knowing that is so important. If we think about all the major avatars that walk the planet, avatar is just somebody who's, prophets and people who have stories about them who were known to be enlightened and things like that. They all shared that message. It wasn't this, look at me, I'm a prince and I'm wealthy and don't you want to be me? They were very much about the transformation and the non-resistance and the ability to stand right where they're at, right where we're at, and see the gifts and see the light and step into even more power. So that's so cool. And the other thing I want to mention about how cool this all is, there's light and there's dark. So we can get really excited about how creative and productive or transformative we're feeling. And then we look and we see loss, and we see death, and we see joblessness, and we see suffering. And Spirit's very clear. There's no reason to feel guilty for feeling balanced. There's everything right about feeling balanced. And that's also something that's up for transformation. We get to remember that when we claim every degree of our own loving presence for ourselves, this includes compassion for ourselves. This includes unconditional self-love for ourselves. It includes celebrating ourselves, taking time to really realize all the light that we already harness. when we really take the time to claim ourselves, the more we do that, the more we expand, the more we have to offer others. We know that, but there's a new level of challenge. And the more capable we become in general, the more capable we are of helping others. So this is definitely wiping us clean of any, you know, one of the words that comes to mind that's used for it is codependence, or this groupthink mentality. You know, there's the law of oneness, but there is the need for us to really embody that we are in charge of shining brightly and taking care of ourselves so as to be of the highest service. That's the only way the ship sails. So if you encounter people that might not be of the same vibration, that's okay. It's good, you know, spirits, it's shown me we can have compassion. We don't need to drop ourselves down. We can hold compassion. But also, if our light is somehow upsetting to that person, we don't need to drop our light. That's their journey, and by us continuing to shine brightly, that's the task right now. So I hope that that's somewhat helpful. So I want to get to, I'm going to share my screen. I want to get to a meditation for us. And we've all already seen her once or twice. This is, I want to share with you, this is a couple days ago. This is my little Kali statue that I keep her right by my workplace right now. And I've got there's a little bundle that is stuff that's to her right. That's all these things that were ready to be released a few days ago. But I love that behind her is this thank you. I want to share a little bit more of a close-up of this statue, just so you can really connect with her. We're going to be, she's here, so there's definitely the opportunity for deepening our relationship with her. So here's this little statue. You can see it's pretty small. It came from a shrine in Nepal in the 70s, and man, when you hold it, you can totally feel that she's on fire. So we're gonna connect with her again. So let's start by doing 3 really centering breaths. You can close your eyes if you'd like. And as you breathe in, just come into your body. Get grounded. Feel your earth star chakra, your root chakra connect you down into Mama Earth. And breathe out. And breathing in. Again, just come into your body and ground yourself down. Down through your heart, down through your root, down through your feet. Connect to Mama Earth and breathe out. One more time, breathing in. Come into your body, come home, and then ground yourself down. And now imagine a sphere, a 3-dimensional sphere of white light around you. It's probably about as big as your aura. But just invoke this sphere of white light. And as you bring in this sphere of white light, feel how safe you are. Feel how protected you are. Feel how bright you are. Feel how perfectly in balance you are. And now we're going to spend a minute. We're going to close with the eyes closed. I invite you to summon up all the stuff that's annoying you. Summon up all the stuff that's ready for release. If the way something's happening in the external world, just pushed a button, bring it up. If it's something somebody said, bring it up. Just spend a little bit of time calling up all the people, the places, the things, the beliefs, the behaviors, the ideas, the dreams, the disappointments, whatever it is, just call it up. It might even just be feeling bored or feeling limited. Call them into your mind. And just give him space right now. Just let him be. Let him roll. Let him be with you for a moment. Knowing that you're safe, knowing that this process will serve you. This goddess is bringing fire with her to help us. So let's now open your eyes and bring your attention to this picture of Kali. And spend a little bit of time just taking in the whole thing, taking the whole picture of her face, her body, what she's holding with her hands, her stance. Notice any details. And just observe her. Let her speak to you. And as you're bringing her in, let your awareness start to bring her energy into your field. So by connecting with her, looking at her, you're drawing, you're inviting her energy in. Knowing that you're safe, there's light all around you. This goddess is here to help you. And let your awareness start to be just saturated with Kali. And you might even repeat her name aloud or to yourself. Just taking in her energy, taking in her vibration, taking in her name, invoking her power. Let her energy merge with yours. And now close your eyes again and really formally invite her. We've merged with her, but just say, hey, Kali Ma, I want you to come right here, right now. And just invite all of her. I'm feeling heat, I'm feeling fire, I'm feeling light, but it's heat to burn. Allow her energy to move through you, to permeate your experience right now. And allow this energy, very high vibration, to remove any and all things that you don't need. Anything that's not essential to your existence right now. And if you wanted to speak aloud, it might just be something as simple as, I invoke you, Kali Ma. I call upon you to trim away everything that's not essential to the highest expression of myself at this time. And this is the beauty of this goddess. She's showing me, you know, if you're looking for the Holy Grail, you could stop at the shopping mall on the way to the Holy Grail, but you don't need to. So she's not going to let us. She really wants us. She wants us to get to where we need to go. Anything that's in the way that we would be tolerating, she's ready to just eat it up, to burn it through, to take it from us, to draw it into herself. And as we know from earlier gatherings, this is her food. She desires this stuff. So again, I invoke you, I call upon you to trim away anything that's not essential to the highest expression of myself in this lifetime. And spend a little bit of time right here. Let her clean you up. Let her clear out anything. It's almost like a brush clearing, you know, anything that's just hanging out in your field that you already drummed up a lot of it. She's already got all that. She's working out all that, and she's able to see other things as well that maybe we ourselves in our minds right now don't see how it's limiting us. But if you want to invite Kali into an even deeper way to just surrender and trust her and know this is an individual choice, but you might allow her to work a little bit more deeply as much as we're able. She knows that, but also anything that doesn't serve. And just take a little bit of time to be her now and let her notice how she's harmonizing her frequency with yours. She knows how to merge with you. She knows you, exactly who you are right now. And I always like to say, as much as I can handle. She knows that space and place. It's just the right level of cleansing and releasing, so as to walk the path with the lighter load. If we're taking a journey, we just want everything we need in our backpack. We don't need a bunch of rocks. We just need just the essentials of what we need, and we'll be shown the path. So, as you feel yourself being cleansed, take some time right now, another moment, to offer her thanks. To offer yourself thanks. To offer the universe thanks for the gift of empowered alignment towards soul's purpose. And I can hear Kali inviting and reminding us, as this is called IN5D, she's always available. As we're raising our vibration and able to spend more time in the fifth dimension, all the goddesses are there, all the avatars are there. We get to hang out with them more often. We can be in our 3D world, but she's really inviting us to spend more time in the fifth dimension, especially as we need with these beings, with her. She's able to be with us in this physical world, but also she's inviting us to remember that she's always connected to us in higher realms. And she's inviting us to be powerful and to stand for what we believe is true. That doesn't mean we have to fight against. It means that we get to claim this journey of our own and remember our mission statement, that we're here to be powerful and to shine brightly, so as to live a life of service, so as to be able to heal ourselves and heal our planet. And there is everything right about that call to action. And she wants us to know that this practice that we just did is here for us all the time. She's here for us all the time. So then just sort of slowly coming back to wherever you're at, wherever you're partaking with this gathering. I wonder if you guys have any questions. I wonder if anything's coming up. I feel simultaneously a deep harmony. There's kind of like a lull, a comfort, and also there's still things that are stirring, that are coming for release for all of us. That's pretty much what I had been shown to share with everybody. I hope that this is helpful. But I don't know if you guys want to type in the chat or you want to unmute yourself. We're going to spend just a couple more minutes here together. And we really are seeding our future. This choice to gather, because we know that we can make that choice, is a really powerful choice. And as we're gathering, I'm being shown with like-minded, like vibrational people. We are telling the universe right now that this is how I want to spend my time. You know, these are the people I want to be around that are also interested in this vibration, this mission, this level of awakening. So also give yourself a little pat on the back. Spirit's saying, you know, that these subtle moments are actually the profound ones. You know, that's the karma. That's the, you know. Oh, one more thing I wanted to share before we go. You know, we're us light workers. Spirit very, very much clearly told me, we're not any better than anybody else. There's no, like I mentioned how everything is, we're all being reborn. So there's no free pass for light workers either, nor do we want one. But it's also that we just get to know that this is what feels good to us. This is what feels right to us, and this is our conscious choice. This is us telling the universe, yes, more please. So that's really what's happening. Let me read a couple quotes. Karen said, I needed to hear that we shouldn't feel guilty for feeling happiness right now. Yes, I had a little lesson of that myself. I don't even need to repeat it, but suffice to say that I worked that out myself this week, and Spirit was very clearly like, no, the answer is not to drop your vibration down. There, as a healer, we can hold space and be compassionate, but also, if we think about it, how can we be of highest service? You know, here's another example. What would Jesus have done? Would he have been like, oh man, let me go be really, down? No, he put his hands on people and he said, he visualized them being bright. And that's how he worked his miracles. He knew this vessel is where all the magic is at. So yeah, Sachi says, thank you for this. Kali pulled fear out of me and gave me strength. Yeah, totally. It's funny, when I first got that little statue that I shared, it's about this big, it's a tiny little statue. I could feel her, she kind of said, all right, you think that you've given me all the things that you need. You've written them down, thank you for the formality of like presenting all your fears to me. She's like, and then I'm going to, do I have permission to like eat up all this other stuff that you're not even aware of? And I was just like, yes, thank you. So that final merging that we did, I think is really cool, because it's really, if we can really release and allow her to be like, all right, yeah, I don't need to have control like that. That's also, I think, a really wonderful lesson for us of not being afraid. We've been taught to fear this goddess that is one of the most powerful goddesses. When we first presented her, I know a couple of us were like, oh man, she's kind of scary looking, but now it's like, wait, like, we've been taught to fear the thing that actually that takes away the fear. So we just need to let her in and know that she's totally a goddess and light worker and trustworthy and is going to have our best interest. And like I like to ask is just as much as I can handle, but go for it. Like, help me help myself so that I can help others. Katie B says, helpful, thank you. Last week I had trouble slowing down and being present. Yeah, that's in the air. We've got these deeply conditioned ways that we've lived our whole lives, and we just get to be compassionate and realize, like, sometimes I remember thinking, all right, well, another 2 weeks and this shelter in place will be done, and Spirit's like, I don't know, maybe 4. I don't know. Why do you need to know? Slow down. That was really what they were saying, was like, slow down. So thank you. Gwen says, very helpful, feel lighter, relaxing into the present moment. That's where we forever want to be. If we can figure out a way to be present, and we can journey and we can plant the seeds in the future, but then come back home, come back present. The more we do that, the more we really are in our powerful spot. Karen says, I've noticed that some people do not want to be around positive energy right now, which I'm okay with, but it's interesting. Yeah, totally. I had somebody message me in my email list saying I was not paying attention to the right things and they unsubscribed. And I was like, okay. We each have an opinion. I'm choosing what I want to pay attention to and I'm sharing it. That's okay. And bless them, bless everybody. We've each got our own moment. And for somebody who might, I just have so much compassion for that, because that must mean that there's a certain level of stuff that needs to be cleared in an individual who isn't comfortable in the light right now. And that's a very personal journey. And nobody can make that journey but that person. And so the more that we can come together and focus on the world that we want to create and know that this is our birthright, and that the best way we can help each other and be of service is to be balanced and to be loving and to be bright. We don't have to be irrational about it, but we also get to know that having a positive opinion, you know, when I walk my dog and people will stop and say across the street, "How are you handling this?" And I say, you know, I love walking my dog and I really appreciate the time at home. I offer the best version of how I honestly feel. And I think that sometimes people are like, huh? And sometimes people are like, oh, thank you for reminding me of that, you know? And that's an act of service right there. Just by holding that space for us, holding the space, inviting somebody to remember this is available for you right now. Those people that are ready to vibe up, that's a healing that you're offering them. That's you being a healer. I just think that's freaking cool, because it means that every single interaction right now is a potential for us. The important part also is that we, you know, the integrity needs to be there. This isn't just spouting bubbles, because it's really needs to come from our own true conviction that we know, I feel good. I've actually enjoyed a lot of this time. I've gotten a lot of stuff done. And a lot of my relationships have deepened, and I've made, you know, relationships that I wouldn't have otherwise. We never would have had this gathering. We never would have gotten to be able to realize that we do want to gather because we want to gather because we can. Thank you. So that gets me back to that. I'm going to pull up the little Kali thank you thing. It wasn't the first thing that I thought of, but it came into together so nicely. It's just like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for my health and my well-being. Thank you for the breath that I breathe. Thank you for the amount of power that we are all able to harness right now for our families, for those we love, for people in the grocery store. Thank you. And thank you to Kali for just, she's so ready. She's been kind of waiting for us to be ready to release this stuff. And she's kind of already saying, thank you guys for surrendering a little bit more. You know, she's also showing me there's more. We're still a little bit, this is new for us to surrender to her and to allow her to merge with us, but it's super powerful. So yes, thank you guys for being here. I'm feeling called to keep going. Next Saturday, I'm going to be here because that's what I want to be doing. And if you want to join, I would love to have you guys. I know that there's a lot of people that have been able to watch it afterward. I get all these messages of like, I didn't wake up in time and blah, blah, blah. So I know that we are also all a global group of people. So yes, KDB says, thank you. Gwen says, yes, please. Sashi says, thank you for the support. You guys are totally welcome. Thank you. But for everybody together, we are all, you know, you guys are adding fuel to the tank of the engine that's running this ship. So I totally appreciate each and every one of you. And yeah, well then I'll see you guys next Saturday, 10 a.m. Have a blessed week. And if you need some Kali clearing, feel free to watch that part again, and maybe even find a little image of her if that bronze statue doesn't serve you. I might have another Kali statue if she comes through again. I have one more statue that I'll share with you, but yeah. All right. Thank you guys. Tons of love. Shine brightly. That's your job. Yay. Okay. Take care.